Okay everybody, we're back. This is part 2 and we're going to be working on the torso and also the head, because those areas on this kit have the new parts. They differ slightly from the PG Unicorn, and as I said kind of at the beginning, I want to show everybody the new stuff, because showing a group of people who've seen the PG Unicorn build in detail, just showing you the same thing but in blue, that's kind of boring. So let's focus mostly on the new stuff. And so what I did is I went ahead and I assembled the torso up until a certain part, and you can see I've also got the LED in there. Now before I go ahead and start slapping the rest of the armor on there, you guys might want to see how this looks with the LED now that I've got it wired up here. So why don't I attach it, because I have my cable here, and we'll plug it in and we'll get a little preview of just how this looks. Alright, there you go. I can unplug it here. Looks pretty good to me. I'm digging the orange yellowish color. I don't know if I'm partial to that or the red, but it will look good once it's done, as we know. So I've kind of went ahead and kind of put this part on here, and I'm not supposed to do that yet. You're supposed to put in the LED and put this on over top with the accompanying collar. But because I wanted to show everybody this runner again without any parts sticking off, look at that gold. It's beautiful. I kind of dropped it on there, so the next step I'm going to need to do is to actually get that collar piece. So hopefully I haven't, gone out of turn and made my life difficult. This gold, it's pretty nice. It's different from, that lame gold we call it on the show that we see with some kits, but it's only this much of the kit that actually has that gold. So there are undergates on the underneath here, so I will take those off. And some of the gates back here, these are not undergated, they're not going to be clean, but because this is the back of the unit and then it has the backpack on it, you're not really going to see this angle too much. I guess that's kind of what Bandai was thinking when they went ahead and did it. So let's carry on from where I was. I will place this on here, providing I line it up properly. Goes like that. There we go. So if this wasn't the Banshee Norn before, or the Banshee, you can definitely tell it is now with this ridge here like so. I've already slapped the pieces on the back here and I've run the wire out, so I do need to put on the back piece here. So I'll drop that into place like so. And remember, there are parts for these, but they go on at the very end of the build. Once you build the arms and you connect the wires, and then you have to feed the wires into here to kind of, hide the connections. Then you put the last of the armor parts on the back of the torso, and then your backpack, and then you're done. So this will stay like this for some considerable amount of time. You start the build on the Norn and the Unicorn with this, and then at the very end you're kind of closing it up, it's coming around full circle. So I'm going to leave that for like it is for now, because I have to work on, kind of the collar and the neck here. And because I do have the LED, what I need to do is I need to feed it through here. It's not that easy, but once you get it through there, you can then kind of drop it down. They do give you a little bit of room to move once you're in there, so come on there you. So once I'm in there, I actually can move it around like so. So we're going to drop it in to its home here, like that. Clip. There you go. You hear it. This moves us slightly and doesn't interfere with this, so that's good. And then we also have this. So we are supposed to do the same thing. We are supposed to, feed these 3 wires up into here. So usually I go one at a time if I can, and I usually use tweezers, but for some reason I forgot those. So this might be slow going here. There we go. I can't really pull up on it too hard, because if I do any damage to the LED wiring at all, like if I pull it separated from here, this LED is pretty much useless, and that's the last thing I want. So there we go. I am in. I'll slide this down as well. And this will stay just like this until the head is finished, attached, and then that connection is covered up. Now to finish the torso, I do have a couple things here. I have this piece that will go on, but again, there is a new piece that goes on right here, and that is found again on the gold runner. So cutting that part off, and it looks to be undergated as well. This side one is not, but this one is. Get that cut off, line it up on there like that, and then I can plug it in. So this will clip in if I have my angle right, click, and then I can open and close it. And I do have my pilot figure in there, and you can kind of see him, he's blue. But let's just close this up. And do you guys want to see how it looks if I hook up that wire again? Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, there you go. Looks pretty awesome, eh? Okay, now, like I said before, I'm kind of going out of order here. With the torso finished, you know, that first step done, I'm going to move on to the head, which is actually one of the last things you build before that giant backpack, so which I did first, so you know, I'm all over the map here. Put this aside. With the head, basically I've gone ahead and prepped what I needed. I mean, I've got like these side pieces here with the frame parts inside that will connect to the sides of the head. And I've also kind of gone ahead and assembled it with the LED in there, as much as you would before you start kind of adding the other parts, which are new. So I kind of hit this wall and stopped because the rest of it I need to show you. So there is some little assembly to do here before I kind of slap it all together here. The head always causes me problems, so I'm not really looking forward to this. But I do have this, you know, visor here. It is quite small. Let's see if I can get you guys a little closer here without taking out of the shot, of course. Now I also have this here piece. This is also new, and I'm going to have to grab some parts off of this gold runner. I got 1, 2, 3 gates to cut here. No undergating, but they've kind of put the gate marks at the bottom here. So it's really hard to put an undergate kind of on this type of design, but you don't have to see those gates because of how this fin faces, right? So I'll take this here and I will plug it in like I'm told I should. And I'm going to assume it goes that way, but just to confirm, I'm kind of going to do it a second time just to make sure I'm not missing anything. It doesn't actually pop into place, which I expected, but then again, there are kind of holes in there. When I slap this onto the main kind of top armor piece, maybe that's how it's held in. So I don't want to experiment too much and end up bending anything. So let's put that down there. Along with this face mask, I have a frame part. Let me grab that here. And the Banshee, as you know, comes with the gold face mask. So cutting that off, and this is undergated. Let me get those. Just the two, that's what it says. Now I meant to put the red piece in here, line it up, push it as far as I can without kind of going too far and bending it. But this can pop out, so make sure you do get it as far in as you can. And then I got an undergate there I need to take off the top. Then I will put this in like so. And again, push it as far as you can, although it looks like it doesn't fit all along the whole edge snugly. It should get in there as far as you can go. Right, so I've got this and I've got this. Okay, and I've prepped that. So I think I've got everything ready except for this thing. which is kind of important when we're talking about the Norn or the Banshee in general. I think when you think of Banshee, the first thing that comes to mind is this type of horn. And you can see it's got like a coating on it. And up here, it's the gold but this is a different color, so it looks like they molded it and then went over it with that extra gold. So I'll just cut these off here. Okay, and then I need these pieces as well. So remember, there's little magnets in these things that are supposed to kind of hold it together, right? So they should be flush like that. One piece will be on the top, one piece will be on the bottom, which is where these small pieces come in, right? So we'll take N9 first, seeing as that's the first one I saw. Only one gate on this thing. And it will go on here. Now this is very, very, very thin. So if I'm pushing too hard, it will break. So I kind of like to see what I'm doing. Instead of going from the top, I'll come from the bottom, and then I can look up at it and push it until it looks flush and kind of stop. You know, I can always give it a little extra shove after if I feel it needs it, but if I overdo it at the start and bend something, well, then it's never going to fit properly. Now this also fits on here in a similar way, but from the top end. I will now have, oh, from the other side, see, from the bottom, that's what I meant. I'll now have both sides of my horn, like that is how it's meant to be. So there it is. It will open up when you transform it into its destroy mode or unchained mode. So I don't need these runners anymore. What I need to do, I'm going to turn the page here. This is the last step, and it is the biggest pain in the ass ever. Actually, maybe, oh yeah, this is the biggest pain in the ass ever. Bear with me. This is the new part here, and I put in the Vulcans in there. This is also a new part. It came on that new runner with the new pilot figures. And now, the part that I dislike the most. I just finished this on my unicorn and I have to do it again. So when you change it into its unchained mode, some little fins can pop up on the back of it. Well, that's kind of what I got to work on next. So they kind of drop in from underneath, and they're supposed to sit there and kind of just stay there while you put the head together, but they don't stay so well because they're meant to move. They kind of just sit quite freely, which means that they will move and they will kind of change angle and pop out and cause you a little bit of aggravation and frustration when you go to put the frame part together with the head. Now I'm going to give it a shot here, but if I run into the difficulties that I experienced before, I might kind of shut the camera down so I can get closer to it and make sure I get it in there properly, and then I'll turn the camera back on, because what I have to do is drop these in here like so, right? Looks easy enough. Well, I guess it is. These are supposed to kind of pop out of these grooves, so I got to make sure it can do that. If I pull them too far this way, just to kind of get them in there, the swivel here, it will pop out, and I need it to be in, because if it pops out, then I'm not going to be able to close it up, and it sucks. It sucks. But of course, if I got these popped out and I'm trying to push down on, they kind of get in the way. So I'm speaking from experience here, right? Learn from my experience. You don't need to get as frustrated as I was if you can avoid it. So that's that. With that on there, I'm going to put this new piece together. It just sits on there like that until I get this next gold piece. Let me grab that. This is kind of the forehead of the Banshee here. A couple gate marks, under gates will need to come off. Very small though, this one. that is acceptable. So let's put this on here. Hope everything stays. Get in there. Okay, I am in. Doesn't that look kind of funky? What's going to happen now is the that part I dislike. So I should probably take this off because I don't need it. It's supposed to sit like this, and then I put this part on. Now already this is popping out. Stay there. This seems to be the problem now. I don't know if you guys can see it there, but there is a slight, there's opening, a groove right in here, and it goes at an angle. It doesn't go straight like this, it goes at an angle. Well, so does this here. This is where it's supposed to go, but this goes at an angle. You know, it doesn't quite go straight. So it's not a matter of just dropping it on. It's a matter of getting that angle properly and then sliding it on. And well, that's where all the frustration comes from, because it's not so easy, especially when you have these things here that are kind of impeding where you can put your fingers. Sigh. These orange things here that might also get in the way of the things that you're trying to drop in there. So yeah, you can tell I'm really reluctant to do this because I have experienced the pain. And of course the LED is hanging here, and I have to make sure it kind of stays out of the way. So that's what this finger is for. So if I line everything up, can I get it in there? Can I push on the right parts and get it in there? Oh God, yes I can. Look at that. It is on. Now if it was any easier, if you want to make it easier for yourself, you can even take this part off and then kind of, you have your hands free, snap it into place and then put this back on, because it looks like it's fine to kind of come off. Although I do have a gate mark there, which might be what is in the way. Get on in there. I am really relieved that it went in there on the first try. I cannot tell you how happy that makes me. So now I can drop in the top part. Click, you should hear click. Slide it forward, it says. I gotta slide it forward. Okay. And now I think I'm in the final steps here, because I have to make sure this LED is clipped in here. Clip. Make sure that's forward as far as it can go, because that's the only way you're going to kind of get this horn in there when this thing is open. So let's make sure that is in there. Once it's in there, you can slide it back. It will actually kind of push the face mask back, which you need to have because you got that second face mask going on. So the second face mask now should clip into here. This can open a little bit, so you have a little bit of room to work. Snip, snip. Push this back. Bring up that face mask. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you're closing this face mask because this is in the way, it means you haven't slid this back enough. If you slide this back enough, it's not a problem. So this is still flopping around. Well, that's because I got another piece to put on there. It's kind of going to hold things in place here, they say. So this probably needs to be on perfectly straight for this to work. So let me make sure I can do this here. Because you can see how the grooves are meant to all fit together there, right? So get straight and line up, please. Don't want to push it too hard. Again, this is why I was thinking maybe a I got to look at my angling again of this piece, because I knew that I would have to put this on here. Bear with me. I got this. I got this. It's interesting how it looks like that main kind of little horn on the front is what holds this entire thing together. So I'm going to see if I can cheat here and actually line it up first before I put that part on. And you can see, hopefully, just how everything kind of sits on here. It even slides into this little groove here. So I'm glad actually I attempted it this way, because you can see how this fits in here, kind of holds everything in place. And now that I see that, it should be easier for me to kind of put this on if I've got it lined up properly. And there I go. That is actually quite cool. That is really cool. Okay. And with that, like that, well, that's awesome. Now I can just drop these on. And I prepared these. You have a frame part, you have this little swivel, and you have another, you have an armor part that goes in there. So let's drop these on. Maybe this side. Gotta make sure I know what I'm doing here. This is the dangers of cutting everything off the runner before you're going to use it. Okay, so a little piece of dirt in there. Get out of there. There is the Banshee Norn's head. That's cool. And you know what else is cool here? I'm not actually quite done here. I missed the last part. Just realized I have 2 more gold pieces. I have 2 more gold pieces. Then I need to kind of plug in there. So this is the last of that nice kind of darker gold color. This runner is now gone. No gate marks on here. So what I'm meant to do now is kind of drop these in from the top. 1. 2. That's how it's supposed to look. And there you go. Banshee head. And because I really want to do this, I'm going to try and hook up this wiring here. For that, what you need to do is get in here and pop off this back part. Although it's difficult to hold on to the Banshee compared to the Unicorn because of that horn and extra stuff here. So if I can get this back piece off, and I might cheat a little bit, right? Pull these open. If I can get this back piece off, there we go. I can plug it in. Make sure I don't pin any. Okay, I've got that, and I'm going to put it on here, like so. I can leave these like this for now. I'll pull back the camera, guys, sorry. Hopefully you saw that. I've plugged it in, and I can take these off or put them in, or just leave them hanging there, because what I need to do is you kind of have to rest your little LED connection there, and then put on this back piece. So they actually give you kind of a little bit of freedom in there, because you know you're going to turn the head, things like that. So there is some looseness to the wire which will allow you to do that, but I definitely need to make sure that this is kind of dropped into place here. That's what I want. Can I get it in amongst my hands? There we go. We will close it up. Click, click. And there I go, which means now what I gotta do here, again, I'm gonna pull it back, make sure you guys can see everything. I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna take this wire, And away we go. Alright, that concludes the torso and the head. It's done. I can kind of stick this on the stand and then, you know, it'll be there safe while I'm assembling everything else. The next thing we're going to look at is the legs, because there are new parts for that, although not quite a new design. There are new parts for that. We'll put those on and we'll have the legs assembled, and then when it comes to new stuff, that's pretty much all there is, and I will be able to kind of get this guy together, and then we can look at it fully complete, lit up, and then talk transformation.